Guys, the movie 2000 Mules is ready. It's being closed out. It's being put into the system, and it's super exciting. I want you to know that you can start buying tickets now. Go to the website. It's 2000mules.com. So these are the different ways you can watch this movie. One is in theaters. It's in 275 theaters on 2 nights. Monday, this is May 2nd, or Wednesday, May 4th, 7 p.m. showing. And all those theaters are up on the website. You can search it by state. You can buy your ticket, and so you're set to go. You can see it in the theater. But not everyone will be able to see it that way because we don't have theaters all over the country, although we have a lot of them. The second way to see it is the virtual premiere. This is out of a magnificent theater in Las Vegas. It's live. It's going to be on Saturday, May 7th. Saturday, May 7th. And the what you do is you buy a ticket, you're given an access code, you log in, there'll be an opening program, you'll be able to watch the movie as if you're sitting in the theater, and there's a live Q&A with some of the key people in the movie occurring right afterwards. So this is a great way that anyone can see the movie by buying a ticket to the virtual premiere on Saturday, May 7th. And that's also, details are up on the website. There's a small number of VIP tickets for people who want to be physically present in the theater in Las Vegas. You can also pre-order a DVD for the movie, and there's a link to do that. And there's also some pretty good bulk rates if you want to buy a bunch of DVDs to share with friends. That's a great way to get the message out. Eventually, the movie will also be available just for straight digital download, and those details will come a little bit later. But these are 3 great ways to see the movie in the premiere week, in the first week. So once again, the website, it's the number 2000mules.com, and get your tickets now right away. All right, let me talk about the CDC's Mask Mandate, which was basically sent down the tubes by a great judge, a Trump judge. Her name is Catherine Kimball Mizell. Apparently, she's only in her 30s. And so she decided, you know what? I'm going to take on the CDC. I'm going to take on the whole Biden administration. By the way, the mask mandate is kind of one of the last vestiges of their kind of COVID control, right? Most of these states have now opened up. They don't have lifted mandates in restaurants and places like that. But the travel mandate, the mandate for public transportation and for airplanes, was still in place. And basically, the judge ruled, listen, there's no constitutional warrant for it. In fact, the law under which they had passed this mandate was apparently a sanitation law. They were claiming that this is part of, quote, sanitation. And the judge goes, actually, no, I think I know what sanitation means. Sanitation basically means cleaning up stuff. And so using sanitation as a pretext to sneak in a mask mandate for the entire country, no can do. Moreover, the judge said the CDC had not followed its own rulemaking process, and moreover, it hadn't provided a sufficient justification for why these masks should be required. So the mask mandate went down, and it's fun. Debbie and I were at the airport, and it's such a different mood. It's such a different atmosphere. I mean, it was kind of exhilarating for me to walk through the terminals, no mask. I mean, I felt like I got my face back because I've been sort of, for 2 years now, walking around in masks. And I'm looking around the airport and I see 3 types of people. There are the maskless people. That's the majority. Debbie and I counted maybe 60% of people, no masks, enjoying their freedom. Then the second group was the masked. And this was a group of people who apparently still, maybe they have pre-existing conditions. I'm not questioning people who want to continue voluntarily to wear a mask, but these are the people who are, running scared. But the third group is the group that amuses me the most, and these are the so-called, I call them mask holes. Now, I didn't invent this term, but it's perfect for the occasion. These are people who glare at everybody else and give you dirty looks for not wearing a mask. And I'm just waiting in the airplane for some mask hole to sort of start berating someone for not wearing a mask, and then have, security show up and the cops show up and drag these control freaks out of the plane or out of the airport. Now, the Biden administration, not surprisingly, not very happy about the knocking down of this mask mandate. And so they're like, well, if the CDC wants us to, if they want to sort of extend the mask mandate, we will now go to a higher court, a court of appeals, and ask that court to stay or to put on hold the judge's decision. So that's apparently what the Biden administration is planning to do. It has filed an appeal with an appellate court, not to adjudicate the case on the merits, but say that while while the case is being adjudicated, the mandate should be allowed to go back into effect. Now, Debbie and I were talking about this on the way to the podcast, and we're like, this is going to be very unpopular. Why? Because people have sort of had it, and they have a chance now to return to a vestige of normalcy. They have a chance to travel, and think about traveling, not just on their short flight for an hour or two. I mean, we were just going back and forth to Florida, but imagine if you were going cross country or going internationally. You've got to wear a mask for what, 6, 7, 14 hours? It's almost unbearable. And apparently there's very little rational justification for it. By the way, a number of the airline CEOs have testified that these masks they've looked at this very carefully, do not enhance the safety of passengers. So I'm delighted that a Trump judge has seen the light, has struck down the mandate, and we'll see what happens going forward. But for now, I, and I'm sure you and many others, were enjoying our freedom.